All right, so we got this article you sent about Sam Altman, the OpenAI
Hmm.
CEO guy, right?
Yeah.
And you're like really curious about where AI is going, and honestly, Altman's got a lot to say about it. So
He does.
let's dive in. We'll cover his take on how capitalism drives all this, how AI's changing stuff, like even how Ferrari designs cars now, which is wild.
It's interesting, right? He connects these like really different ideas. He's not afraid to like think big.
No, he jumps right in, says capitalism, even with its problems, is the best system we've got for like pushing innovation forward. Which, I mean, that's a bold statement these days.
Definitely. But he backs it up. He says, look at history. That profit motive has always made people invent stuff, solve problems. But, and this is key, he knows things need to change too.
So what, like ditch capitalism entirely, universal basic income, that kind of thing?
No, not that. He says aligning capitalism, making it work with like what society actually needs, that's how we unlock even more progress.
Okay, so use the power of like the free market and all that, but make sure it's actually making the world a better place, not just.
Exactly. It's about more than just making money. It's about making a difference. And that whole idea of evolving, adapting, that applies to leadership too.
Yeah.
Altman's a big believer in shaking things up at the top, especially in a field like AI that moves so fast.
Which makes me think about what he said about those changes at OpenAI itself. With the leadership there, he wasn't afraid to talk about that at all.
Right. He sees that as totally normal, a natural way for a company to grow, bring in fresh ideas. Because no one person has all the answers, right? You got to be open to learning, adapting all the time.
Okay, so speaking of adapting, Altman paints this picture of AI changing everything, like every industry. We're not just talking, robots taking our jobs, but completely different ways of doing things.
And he uses Ferrari as an example, which is kind of perfect. You've got this super high-end car company all about craftsmanship, that human touch, right?
And they're using AI for design now, 3D modeling and all that.
It blows your mind, right? Because you think AI is going to replace designers. But Altman's saying no, it actually helps them do even more, opens up possibilities we couldn't even imagine before.
So AI as like this ultimate creative partner pushing the limits. But okay, here's the thing. All this needs massive computing power. Where's that coming from?
You've hit on a huge part of Altman's vision, energy. He's basically saying the future of AI is tied directly to the future of energy, and he's not talking about just any energy. He's talking clean, abundant, cheap sources like fusion, fission.
Makes sense. AI needs power and lots of it. But why the focus on clean energy?
For him, it's bigger than just AI. He sees clean energy as essential for, like, the whole planet to prosper. Imagine no more fighting over resources. Everyone has access to the energy they need. That's what'll fuel even more innovation beyond what we can imagine.
Okay, so a future where AI is transforming everything powered by clean energy. Definitely a bold vision. But where do we even start?
Well, Altman gives some advice for like anyone who wants to make a difference, who's got big dreams. He says, go for it, think big. But, and this is important, he's careful to separate ambition from delusion.
Okay, so what's the difference?
It's not enough to just have a big, vague idea. True ambition, for him, means having that clear goal and the plan to actually get there, step by step. It's breaking those huge challenges down into smaller ones, constantly working towards that final goal.
So dream big, absolutely, but be ready to put in the work too. It's a lot to think about. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Sam Altman's world, here's something for you to chew on. What part of this AI-powered future gets you the most fired up? And what are the biggest challenges you think we need to be ready for along the way?